Welcome to our video on one of the biggest challenges of our time, overpopulation. How does it affect our planet? What are the causes and the resulting environmental impacts? Let's break it down and take a look at some real-world cases to understand this global crisis. Causes of overpopulation. With advancements in healthcare and sanitation, fewer people are dying from diseases, and life expectancy has increased. While this is wonderful progress, it has led to more people living longer, putting greater strain on resources. For example, in countries like Japan and Germany, average lifespans now reach around 80 years, intensifying resource needs for healthcare and basic supplies for a growing elderly population. In many parts of the world, especially in developing nations, lack of access to family planning and education leads to higher birth rates. For instance, in sub-Saharan Africa, limited access to family planning services means that the birth rate remains high. This region's population is expected to double by 2050, adding strain on resources and ecosystems. Cultural and economic factors. In some regions, large families are culturally valued, often seen as a way to increase family income or labor for agriculture. This cultural perspective can result in higher birth rates. For example, in rural parts of India, large families are seen as a strength, leading to significant population growth. India, with its large population, is the home to the world's most populated country, sometimes intensifying issues with resource distribution. Segment 2, Impacts of Overpopulation on the Environment. Resource depletion. With more people comes more demand for resources, food, water, and energy. Overpopulation exhausts these resources faster than they can be replenished, leading to a crisis. Case study: Lake Chad in Africa was once a crucial freshwater source for Nigeria, Niger, Chad, and Cameroon. Due to overuse for irrigation, drinking water, and increased demand from a growing population, Lake Chad has shrunk by nearly 90% since the 1960s. Millions of people now face water scarcity and food insecurity. Deforestation and habitat loss. The need for land for agriculture and housing results in deforestation, driving species to extinction, and reducing biodiversity. The Amazon rainforest, sometimes called the lungs of the earth, has been heavily deforested to accommodate cattle ranching and agriculture. This deforestation not only reduces biodiversity but also contributes to carbon emissions, fueling climate change. However, the double standards of the West often undermine conservation efforts. While advocating for environmental protection, they continue to consume resources at unsustainable rates, complicating efforts to address population rise and habitat loss globally. Air and water pollution. With more people comes more waste, solid, chemical, and gaseous. Overpopulation leads to pollution of air and water sources, impacting human health and the environment. Example: in New Delhi, one of the world's most densely populated cities, air pollution levels are consistently high, largely due to vehicle emissions and industrial pollution. This has led to severe respiratory issues among residents, and water bodies around the city are heavily contaminated. Climate change acceleration. More people means more carbon emissions, and with urbanization, deforestation, and waste generation, greenhouse gases are rapidly increasing, causing global warming and extreme weather events. Example: coastal cities like Miami are facing increased flooding due to rising sea levels. Climate change, accelerated by overpopulation-related activities, is making such cities more vulnerable to natural disasters, displacing thousands and affecting livelihoods. Loss of biodiversity and disrupted ecosystems. As humans encroach on natural habitats, ecosystems get disrupted, causing a loss of biodiversity and affecting the entire food web. Case study: in Madagascar, deforestation to clear land for agriculture has led to the decline of lemur populations. Lemurs play a vital role in seed dispersal, and their loss affects plant regeneration, threatening the health of Madagascar's forests and the numerous species dependent on them. Increased waste production. With overpopulation comes the problem of managing waste. Plastic, e-waste, and hazardous chemicals accumulate in landfills and oceans, causing pollution that affects marine and land animals. Example: the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, a massive accumulation of plastic waste in the Pacific Ocean, is a direct result of increased human activity and inadequate waste disposal. Marine life, including fish, turtles, and birds, suffer as they ingest or get entangled in plastic waste, disrupting marine ecosystems and affecting food chains. Managing the crisis. With overpopulation straining our environment, what can we do to mitigate these effects? Encourage family planning and education. Access to family planning and reproductive health education can help control population growth. Promote sustainable agriculture. Sustainable farming practices like permaculture and agroforestry can help conserve ecosystems while meeting human food needs. Focus on waste management and recycling. Reducing waste and increasing recycling efforts can limit pollution and conserve resources. Invest in renewable energy. Shifting to renewable energy sources can reduce our carbon footprint, helping to combat climate change. Conclusion. Overpopulation is not just a number, it's an urgent environmental crisis that affects every aspect of our planet. By understanding the causes, impacts, and possible solutions, we can make more sustainable choices to help protect Earth's natural resources. Together we can create a balanced future for our environment. Are you ready to make a difference?